Well, investigators are still trying to piece together what happened inside a hotel room here in Las Cruces early in the morning when they say a Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputy opened fire on another deputy and killed him.
Yeah, this morning, 27-year-old Ty Chan remains in jail, accused of firing the gun that killed 29-year-old Jeremy Martin. According to Las Cruces police, the pair had gone into an argument while drinking at a local bar. That argument boiled over at Hotel Encanto, where the two were staying on their way home from Arizona after transporting an inmate. It was in the early hours of the morning on Wednesday when police say Chan used his police-issued gun to open fire on Martin in their room and in the hallway, shooting him in the back as he ran towards the elevator.
We're now learning more about this investigation, Crystal.
Yeah, after Deputy Chan, now charged with murder, faced a judge yesterday, both sides pleaded their case before the judge. Prosecutors argued that Chan was an extremely dangerous, highly trained SWAT officer who committed a reckless murder, so he should remain locked up. The judge agreed, keeping Chan in jail on a no-bond hold. Chan's attorney says they will fight that decision, and he also said he disagrees with what's outlined in the criminal complaint, what some would say was a confession from the now charged deputy. According to the complaint, Chan told police, quote, "I shot the guy," after he was arrested. Police say he was referring to Martin, but Chan's attorney says there's more to the story.
As often happens, these are facts that are cherry-picked from a broader investigation. We don't have the context for that. We will get that.
But I thought the facts, and still believe the facts that were presented in that criminal complaint, warrant a no bond hold on the defendant.
Chan refused to say anything else to investigators, leaving the question, what were the two deputies arguing about? Police have interviewed one of Chan's friends who was at the bar with the both deputies, but if he knew what the argument was about, it wasn't revealed in the criminal complaint.
Oh, it was an emotional day in court for both sides. Standing by Chan's side was his family. This is what they told us after they found out their son would be staying in jail, at least for now.
And that we're all very sorry for what's happened to Jeremy's family. We feel terrible. Other than that, there's absolutely no comment.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to their family.
Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department has put Chan on paid leave. There's no word on when the judge might lift that no bond hold. Well, News 13 has learned that Chan was on the phone with his pregnant girlfriend when the shooting happened. Now, according to police, Chan's girlfriend says she could hear someone screaming, "Please don't, please don't." Then moments later, she heard gunshots. Meanwhile, a community is still mourning the loss of one of its own this morning as deputies brought the body of Jeremy Martin back to Santa Fe. For more on that, here is Crystal Gutierrez. A very emotional night, Crystal.
Yeah, it was, Matt. An emotional sight on I-25 near Santa Fe last night as officers from agencies across the state escorted Deputy Jeremy Martin's body back to Santa Fe from Las Cruces. A sea of law enforcement agencies could be seen as they swept across I-25, escorting the body of Martin to a funeral home in Santa Fe, where he will remain until he is buried. At least two deputies from his department will stay with Martin's body 24/7, standing at attention until his funeral.
It's a significance that we will not forget about you. We are not going to just forget about the incident in his life and everything that he's done.
Martin was a Santa Fe deputy for 2.5 years. He leaves behind a wife, 3 young children, and a baby on the way. Martin's funeral will be held this Saturday at Capitol High School and will be open to the public. News 13 will continue to monitor all developments in the killing of Deputy Martin. We'll also bring you coverage of his funeral on Saturday. Remember, you can always find the latest video stories and pictures over on our website. That's KRQE.com.
5:05 now. It will be a somber day for Rio Rancho as folks there remember an officer who died in a horrible crash this past weekend. Officer Anthony Haas was on his way to a domestic violence call early Sunday morning when he crashed here on Adelia near Highway 528. His funeral will be this morning at 10 at the Santa Ana Star Center in Rio Rancho. You are welcome to go. The governor has ordered all flags to be flown at half-staff today all over the state in honor of Officer Haas. We'll have more on his funeral and the officer coming up in about a half hour. Well, the former high school athletic director accused of planting drug paraphernalia in a coach's office is off the hook this morning. APS police say there was a lot of evidence, at least they thought so, against Sandia High's AD Tom Knobber, and it was caught on tape. But yesterday, the district attorney's office asked the judge to dismiss the case, and the judge agreed. Surveillance video here from spring break looks like it shows Knobber going down the hall into basketball coach Alvin Broussard's office with what looks like a bag in his hands. 2 minutes later, he leaves without that bag. He was later charged with trying to frame Broussard. Both the DA's office and Knobber's attorney tell us that the surveillance video does not prove Knobber planted any drug paraphernalia.
What the public might have seen is circumstantial evidence, and our office determined that that's basically, it wasn't enough to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt to a judge or a jury, and in the interest of justice, it was appropriate that we dismiss the charges.
Knobber's attorney, Jason Bowles, here says it's about time the case was dismissed. Broussard's attorney, Leon Howard, points out that witness testimony is evidence and says the DA's office never contacted Mr. Broussard. He also told us they have not ruled out a lawsuit. Albuquerque police need your help finding 3 armed robbers who held up a busy Walmart. Take a look at this. About midnight earlier this week, officers say 3 men with guns forced the managers at this store on Eubank and I-40 to give them their store safe filled with cash. The robbers rolled the safe into this pickup truck, loaded it up, and took off. And police say one of the robbers fired a shot at the building. Thank goodness no one was hit. The robbers had bandanas over their faces. They even wore latex gloves. The pickup here is a white 90s model Ford Ranger. Timestamps on the surveillance video shows that the entire heist took less than a minute.
With less than a week until elections, early polls are already showing how things are shaping up for New Mexico's governor's race. The polling site RealClearPolitics.com shows Governor Martinez ahead of her Democratic opponent, Gary King, by more than 13 points. Of course, KRQE News 13 will have live full coverage of the 2014 elections. You can follow along with the latest numbers on air and, of course, online at KRQE.com. Again, Election Day is Tuesday, November 4th.
And if you're going to vote early, Saturday, the last day to go.
Running out of time.